today. Quick update on week 7 of Stevenage marathon training. I'm also going to cover off Stryd and why I've started to use it again. There's also some older videos if you want to go and look at those. For those that have joined just to find out a bit more about Stryd and what it is and how I'm going to use it, I'll put a chapter down so you can jump to that part if you don't want to know about the Stevenage marathon training and how it's going. But if you want a quick week 7 recap and long run to Letchworth parkrun, that's coming up now. So morning, it's Saturday morning. Obviously means it's parkrun day. I'm out doing I'm on a 10-mile run. So I'm incorporating a bit of a parkrun sandwich. At Letchworth again, I did toy with the idea of going to Stevenage. If I do run to Stevenage and the parkrun, that works out to be exactly 10 miles. But then I've got to get back from Stevenage somehow. So perfectly doable, but it just adds an extra hour to the day by the time you get to the train station and stuff like that. So Letchworth parkrun today. Amazingly, my Garmin at the start gave me a +6 conditioning rating. Don't feel like that, but anyway, nice horses to take in here. So I've done 2.5 miles. I'm trying to do 6 before parkrun. I've got 40 minutes to do the 3.5, so I thought I'd just take a tiny little walk break, do a little vlog update, and then we'll get going again. So let's recap the training week really quickly. Monday, felt good enough to run, didn't. Went to Legoland, one of the kids' birthdays. So day out at Legoland, big step count, no running unfortunately. Tuesday, kid's actual birthday was Tuesday, so guest round Tuesday night. I actually went out for a 40-minute run on Tuesday night at 10 o'clock at night. So glad I got myself out the door, really good. There's a reason for the 40-minute run. I'm going to say 40 minutes quite a lot in this little update. Wednesday, in lieu of not running on Monday and for the shorter effort on the Tuesday night, I did another 40-minute run on Wednesday lunchtime. So all good. Thursday, ended up going with the club. We did a session. It was 2 times 600 metres at 5k pace, 2 times 1200 metres at 10k pace, and 2 times 600 metres at 5k pace. Not sure I stuck to the paces. I actually banged them out pretty hard. I'm not running 5k that fast, I promise you. And I'm not sure I slowed down that much for the 10k either, but a really good session. Felt good of it, felt really strong actually. It's nice when sessions like that come together. And then yesterday, Friday, I did a 40-minute run. I'll come on to why the 40 minutes in a second part of this video that I'm going to record later, hopefully. And so today sees me do 10 miles, incorporating Letchworth parkrun. Nice steady long run, not too worried about the pace, etc. Just getting the miles in and hopefully continue to progress this training. And then tomorrow it's run round the garden. It's a local 5k organised by Love Letchworth, I believe it is. So it's a 5k run around the town centre of Letchworth. I've never done it before, it's been going a few years, but gonna enter that, have entered that. Do a 5k, it's flat, so I am toying with the idea of stretching the legs and going for it and seeing what time we can do for a 5k. And then just afterwards, an hour later, there's a 1 mile run as well. I'm doing that with Iona hopefully. So, made it to Letchworth parkrun. Briefing's just happening over there. Got about 6 or 7 minutes to spare. I'm only at 5.2 miles, so just trying to clock up as many miles before parkrun as possible. So, can't really running up and down football pitches. Keep the legs moving. Turns out football pitch is 0.13 of a mile. So.
For their support and use of the land. That's North Herts District Council and Letchworth Garden City Heritage Foundation. But most of all, we have to thank our wonderful team of volunteers today. You will find...
Right, so nice little park run. Took it nice and easy. Got caught up at the end. Pushed it a bit harder at the end, but I didn't get carried away. So happy days. Nice morning for it here in Letchworth. Now the bit I always struggle with, the 1.5 mile cool down back home. So see if we can get these legs ticking over again. So it's Saturday morning after the long run. Survived the 10 miles, survived park run. Mile and a half home wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So it's another weekend, it's another race weekend. Me and Iona are just heading down to collect our race numbers for Run Round the Garden 5k in Letchworth. So I'm doing the 5k and that starts at 9:30, and then at 10:30 there's a 1 mile race as well, and Iona's in the 1 mile race, I'm in the 1 mile race. We're trying to see if we can rope Mum into doing the 1 mile run with Iona, and I'll see what time I can do for a mile. But if not, I'll run with Iona, and we'll have some good fun and get a medal. So heading into, we're heading into Letchworth Town Centre now to go and get our race numbers, as we're all sorted for the morning. Right, so that's us registered. The lower number is the 5k number, so I need to remember this because I've got 2 numbers, and Iona's got her 1 mile number. And so don't want to record registration, it's outside in the street. So we do need to cross the road, so let's concentrate and let's go and get across the road, because we've had a genius idea of going to get some lunch and then getting a coffee afterwards, and whilst we're in the coffee shop, Iona's going to do her homework, so we'll get 2 jobs done in one. Very nice handwriting. So here we are, we've just had lunch, and Iona's just doing our homework. We're having a coffee. We're just opposite race registration as well. I'm not sure if the camera will pick up on that. So during that 10 mile long run, I referred a couple of runs, well 3 of them, that were 40 minutes long. And the reason for that is I've dug out my Stryd again. I used it really successfully last year. I like it. I'm going to go into some of the things that I like, some of the things I don't like about it. So the 40-minute runs, there's 3 of them that I had to do last week at conversational pace, and what that does, it gives me a critical power ranking. So Stryd calculates all the data. I wear this on your shoe, you don't have to do anything more than that, you just run with it, and those 40-minute runs then work out my critical power. Without getting too scientific, you can probably go and look this stuff up. The critical power is basically the power that you can put out for an hour. So it's that balance between lactate threshold and being able to run, etc. So basically this gives you a number, and in theory you could use that number and keep that effort level constant, and you should be able to run for about an hour. One of the advantages of Stryd is it's really quite clever in that it immediately changes. So if you go up a gradient, it can tell you using more power to stay at the same pace to get up that gradient. So what it actually does is, if you imagine a critical power of 240, if it tells you to run at 240 for a run, when you go uphill, if you want to keep that at 240, you'll notice your pace come down. Whereas if you're going downhill and it tells you to go at 240, your pace obviously goes up, and then on the flat, you know, you hold it at about 240. So I find that's one of the huge advantages for me, is just running to a number. I'm quite good at that, whether that's heart rate, whether that's pace, whether that's just a number on your watch. I find I can mentally zone out, I can just concentrate on that number and just run to that number. So once you've got your critical power, it then gives you a breakdown of what power you should be running your long runs at, your easy runs at, your thresholds, your intervals, etc. So whilst I'm not going to be following a Stryd training plan this time round, I did that for half marathon last year, and you can go and watch some of those videos if you're interested. I am going to be keeping an eye on the Stryd power number, and I'm going to use it as part of my training. So let's see where it goes. Another thing that I really like about Stryd is it does race predictions as well. So it will give you a race target. So I haven't done it yet because I've not actually signed up to the membership. This is one of the downsides of it. You need to be signed up as a member or on a rolling subscription. I don't find the benefits enough to warrant doing that on an annual basis kind of thing. But what you can do is you can take it out for a month, you can take it out for 4 months, etc. And I find that quite beneficial. So
With my training for Stevenage Marathon, I'm not really following sort of, you know, a pace guideline or anything like that. So I don't know what time I should be aiming for Stevenage Marathon in. I'm going to plug Stevenage Marathon into it today. I'm going to sign up to the membership on a short-term basis, and it's going to tell me a race prediction time that I should be able to do Stevenage Marathon in. And hopefully that reduces as my training increases over the next few weeks. Hopefully that number comes down. That's certainly what happened for St Neots half marathon last year. I think it started off at 2:16 or something, then ended up predicting a 2:05 or something like that. So we'll look at that, we'll plug it in. I'll probably put a graphic up for what it's going to estimate Stevenage Marathon to be done in at this point and what power it should be run at. And we'll keep an eye on that in the next 5-6 weeks to see how that progresses as I train more. One of the reasons for signing up to it today is I'm doing a 5k race tomorrow. I think it's meant to be pancake flat, so it should be a really good effort, really good insight as to how fast I can go over 5k. So I'm going to plug it in. I'll put up the estimated time and power that it's telling me to do, and we'll see how we get on tomorrow with that. So I'm going to use Stryd to get me round the 5k tomorrow. So that's the biggest benefit from my point of view. The paid membership gives you those race prediction times and gives you a number to target for race day, and it's worked massively successfully for me in the past. One of the things I really struggle with on race day is having that belief about the time that I'm going for. And just by having a number to concentrate on, forget about everything else, just aim for a number, keep that constant, keep it constant going uphill, you know, put more effort in downhill, etc. to keep the pace up. It will tell you those numbers, and it's got quite clever things where you can upload courses as well and it will predict times, etc. So going to give it a go for the 5k tomorrow. Let's see how we get on. I'll obviously build that into the sort of review of the race that I do tomorrow, and we'll see how it goes. The last thing that I really like about Stryd is you just put it on your shoe and you forget about it. It doesn't need charging very often. It does about 20 hours, so I guess it depends how much running you do, but I find I charge it sort of once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks, something like that. You just pop it on your shoe. It comes with a little clip, and you put it on your shoe, forget about it being there. So it links into Garmin as well, so it show you the Garmin thing. And if you are following a Stryd training plan, I'm not, but if you do, that syncs straight through to your Garmin. You just tap it, you do that run, and it gives you all the different power zones, etc. that you're meant to do for the interval efforts and whatever the training session is for that day. So that works really, really well. You know, seamless, and for such a small device, there's quite a lot of clever things in here, to be fair to it. So that's one of the other benefits that I find. So what could be better with Stryd, I suppose? Why don't I use it all the time? There's a couple of things for me. One, I don't get enough out of the platform really to warrant the membership 12 months of the year, and I feel it's just a little bit too pricey for the use that I get out of it. I know others probably love it, see the benefits, etc. I do like the idea that you can take it out by a month or 4 months, etc. and get it slightly cheaper. Little tip, go to the website, you get it cheaper than buying it through the mobile app, etc. So a couple of things that could be improved about Stryd from my point of view. One, I don't like the subscription model. You've bought some hardware. I don't like the premium tier where you pay extra money to get the full functionality. I don't use it enough to really warrant paying that much money each year to get the additional information. To benefit, you know, the side to that is you can take out shorter subscriptions and just pay for it when you need those extra things like I'm doing now. So it's not the end of the world, but it's just a bit of, you know, I'd rather you buy some hardware, you get the details. That's the whole point of buying some hardware, but I understand their business model. The other thing that I don't amazingly like is that I think the training programs are great. I've only done the half marathon one, but it got me from 0 to a good time, or a relatively good time, better time than I probably would have got if I'd done it off my own back, etc. So I like that confidence on race day, but it doesn't have any ultra training plans, and that's what I'm really interested in next. So that's another reason why I wouldn't pay for the full-blown membership constantly. If you're training for half marathon and marathon, it's got the plans on there and they're probably worth having a good look at, etc. But that's Stryd. Clever little device. Let's use it as part of this training. Let's see what happens to that critical power. I think critical power is 281, but I'll fire it up now. Let's see what happens in the next 6 weeks as a build up to Stevenage marathon and the training for that. I've got a couple of other races coming up towards the end of the year as well, so I'll probably use Stryd to help me predict what time that is. So I'm going to take out the 4-month membership. Let's watch the numbers, see what the race predictions are, etc., and see how they change over time. And then, most importantly, I suppose, see how it actually goes on the day for them. So, Stryd.
Okay, so after singing Stryd's praises, not gone quite to plan this afternoon. I've taken out the membership. I'm a paid up member, but it appears that the race calculator needs me to go and do a critical power test. It's estimating my critical power at the moment off the back of those 3 runs I did this week, which isn't enough to give it an accurate enough data to let it give you a race predictor. So reading around it's all quite confusing, but you need to go and do a critical power test. So I might do one of those next week, but it's struggling to sort of fit it in amongst sort of the marathon training plan. We'll give it a whirl. I did find a reference on their website where you could calculate your own race time using a rule of thumb kind of thing. It's coming out with the estimated critical power. It's coming out at what's it coming out at? 25 minutes and 24 seconds. So might give it some gas tomorrow. Use that target estimated critical power as the way to go. I think I should be running at 292. So we'll follow that and we'll see what time we get. Be amazing to sneak under a sub 25 this year, but let's see where it goes. Let's stay tuned for updates.